Hey guys, welcome back. Last week we talked a little bit about the importance of doing mid-semester evaluations, and this week I wanted to talk about what we actually do with that feedback, because I think it can be something that some people are uncomfortable getting is feedback, right? Whether that is positive or negative in nature. I tell all the students that the comments are going to be viewable by anybody. And because they're viewable by anybody, they're going to have to consider how those comments will be received. So you actually don't generally get too many negative comments. So if that's your fear, don't be concerned. You probably will get a comment or two, but what the things are that are negative that you need to work on are things that you really do need to hear. And I know in the past that I have made huge adjustments within classes because I realized that what I was putting forth didn't work for that group. Even though it had worked maybe for a group previously, it worked for me personally, it didn't work for that group. I also show all of the comments because I think it shows students how different everybody's reactions are. Because as a teacher, you're going to see that some people wish that all assignments were due on Monday. And then you're going to have another student who says, I want all assignments due on Friday. I think it's important for the students to see that you're trying to balance out a variety of student needs and that you can't necessarily accommodate just one personal preference, that you have to consider the whole class and what is really good for the learning of all. I think it's important to talk about what you're willing to change in response to these comments and what you're not willing to change and why. So for example, often students come up with really innovative solutions, things I hadn't thought of. When I was an early career teacher, somebody asked, can you put a textbook on loan in the library? And I was like, I don't know, can I? And so I went and asked my department chair, and sure enough, you can. You can put a textbook on reserve in the library, and students can go and read that reserved textbook. Now, of course, they can't take it home with them and check it out and stuff, but that means that you can put a textbook that might be more than somebody can afford on loan available for them in the library. And that was really powerful. That was something I didn't realize and something that came from student comments in a mid-semester evaluation for me. I think it's also important to talk about what you're not willing to change. So for example, I had a class where a lot of people wanted to change a due date that was related to a holiday. And I told them that the reason I didn't want to change it is because when I had done it in the past, many students had actually gotten lower grades on that assignment. And so I was going back to a previous policy that I had had to have the assignment be due before the holiday because students actually did better on the assignment. And revealing that information also made me not just a mean professor who didn't want to give people more time, it made me somebody who was really considering what their needs were first. And showing that thought process out loud to the students was really helpful, I think, for them. There's a whole bunch of other tips and things that have to do with looking at mid-semester evaluations and what you can do with this information. So I'll link a couple of articles below that I think are very helpful. If you have some time, check them out. I think it's also important to look at what evaluations show in terms of biases. Being in the psych department, I certainly know that people are prone to certain biases, and these of course do come out in mid-semester and actually end of semester evaluations. So it's a good thing to go ahead and take a look at in order to kind of understand what these evaluations mean. And I think it's also important for you to know that anybody who's going to be looking at these evaluations is going to take this as a piece of information. It's not a whole picture of what you're like as an instructor, but it is one piece from the people who are watching you the most as a teacher. So I think it's important to look at the mid-semester evaluation results and make changes while you still can to your class in order to best suit the group of students that you have at that particular time. Thank you guys for your attention today, and I'll see you guys later.